You walked in for a $15 picture frame. You walked out with a new rug, 3 scented candles, a set of wine glasses you didn't need, and somehow, a bag of Swedish meatballs. Sound familiar? You're not forgetful. You're not impulsive. You've been played by one of the most brilliantly engineered psychological traps in the history of retail. Welcome to IKEA. IKEA isn't just a furniture store. It's a $47 billion empire built on one simple idea. The longer you stay, the more you spend. And everything inside those 4 walls, every turn, every display, every smell, has been deliberately designed to keep you inside and get your wallet open. Let's break it down. The maze. It's not a mistake. The moment you walk into IKEA, you lose control. There is no shortcut. There is no direct path. There is only one way through, and IKEA designed it that way on purpose. Retail experts call it the forced path model. Unlike every other store on earth that lets you walk in, grab what you need, and leave, IKEA locks you into a single winding route that snakes through the entire store. Living room, kitchen, bedroom, office, bathroom, kids section. Then, and only then, the marketplace downstairs, where the actual shopping happens. By the time you reach the checkout, you've walked nearly a mile. And here's the psychology behind it. The longer you're exposed to products, the more likely you are to buy them. Retail researchers call this the exposure effect. Simply seeing a product increases your desire for it, even if you had no intention of buying it 5 minutes ago. IKEA doesn't just expose you to hundreds of products, it exposes you to thousands. That's not a store layout. That's a psychological conveyor belt. The showroom illusion. But the maze alone isn't enough. IKEA takes it one step further with something far more powerful: imagination. Every display in IKEA isn't just a product on a shelf. It's a fully decorated room, a complete life, a vision of who you could be. You don't see a couch. You see a couch in a beautifully lit living room with a throw blanket, a coffee table book, and soft lighting. The exact life you wish you were living. Psychologists call this mental simulation. When you imagine yourself owning something and using it, your brain starts to feel like you already own it. And once your brain feels ownership, giving it up feels like a loss. IKEA doesn't sell furniture. It sells aspirational identity. And your brain can't tell the difference between imagining a life and living it. The IKEA Effect. Why you love what you build. Here's where it gets really interesting. In 2011, Harvard researchers Michael Norton, Daniel Mochon, and Dan Ariely published a landmark study, now famously known as the IKEA Effect. They discovered that people place significantly higher value on things they build themselves, even when the quality is objectively lower than something pre-made. In other words, the effort you put into assembling that Billy bookshelf makes you love it more. The struggle, the Allen key, the missing screw, it all creates emotional investment. IKEA understood this long before the research confirmed it. Their flat pack model isn't just a cost-saving shipping strategy. It's a psychological ownership builder. You didn't just buy furniture, you created it. And now it feels priceless. The restaurant trip. You're deep inside the maze. You've been walking for 40 minutes. You're tired. You're hungry. And right in the middle of the store, there's a restaurant. This is not a coincidence. IKEA's in-store restaurants serve over 650 million meals a year globally, making IKEA one of the largest food chains on the planet. But food isn't their core business. It's their retention tool. When you sit down for those famous $1 hot dogs or Swedish meatballs, you rest, you recharge, your mood improves, and you're still inside the store. Research shows that hungry, fatigued shoppers make worse decisions. A satisfied, comfortable shopper lingers longer and spends more freely. IKEA feeds you so you keep shopping. It's that simple and that brilliant. The yellow bag. Psychology. You've probably noticed IKEA's iconic giant yellow bags placed throughout the store. That's not convenience. That's a commitment device. Once you pick up that bag and start filling it, psychology kicks in. Behavioral economists call this the sunk cost effect, combined with consistency bias. Once we start a behavior, we feel compelled to continue it. Picking up the bag signals to your brain. I am a shopper. I am buying things today. And your behavior naturally aligns with that identity. An empty hand is a hesitant hand. A hand holding a big yellow bag? That's a buyer. The pricing illusion. IKEA is also a masterclass in pricing psychology. Their strategy is called price anchoring. The store is filled with aspirational, high-end display items that seem expensive. Beautiful kitchens, fully designed bedrooms. But the actual price tags are shockingly low. Your brain anchors to the premium visual and then feels like it's getting a deal on the price. The perceived value skyrockets. Combine that with IKEA's famous loss leader items, the $0.99 at breakfast, the $1 hot dog, the cheap throw pillows, and your brain is trained to associate IKEA with incredible value. So when you spend $300 on things you didn't plan to buy, it still feels like a bargain. The exit trap, and just when you think you're done, the marketplace. After the showroom journey, you descend into the lower-level warehouse and marketplace. Thousands of smaller, affordable items designed for impulse buying. Candles, storage boxes, gadgets, snacks, plants. You're already in purchase mode. Your mental budget is already blown. At this point, a $5 item feels like nothing. IKEA saves the easiest sells for last, when your resistance is lowest and your cart is already full. The bigger picture. IKEA's genius isn't in their furniture. It's in their understanding of the human mind. Every element, the maze, the showrooms, the food, the yellow bags, the pricing, the flat pack assembly, is a carefully layered psychological system designed to make spending feel natural, even joyful. Ingvar Kamprad, IKEA's founder, once said, "The most dangerous poison is the feeling of achievement. The antidote is to every evening think what can be done better tomorrow." He built a store where you never feel like you've achieved enough, because there's always one more room to improve, one more item to add. That's not retail. That's psychology at its finest. Next time you walk into IKEA, you'll know exactly what's happening. The question is, will it stop you? Probably not.